2 years ago, I made a video about Avi Loeb, a man who had achieved some degree of prominence in his chosen field of physics, and he managed to become the director of the Institute for Theory and Computation at the Center for Astrophysics at Harvard University. Sadly, I was reporting at the time on the revelation that Loeb had recently contracted stage 4 nobelitis, the disease that afflicts famous scientists who veer away from their area of expertise in order to talk about whatever they want with complete confidence, even though they're talking bollocks. At that point, Loeb had done the following. Number one, he unethically seized metallic spheroids from the bottom of the ocean off Papua New Guinea and claimed that they were the remnants of an extrasolar meteor, despite the fact that scientists tested them and found them to be coal ash deposited by humans polluting the ocean. Number two, he announced that the Permian-Triassic extinction was actually caused by industrial pollution from an ancient and now extinct advanced technological civilization, and not volcanoes, which is what actual geologists think happened. Number three, he launched his own project to monitor the skies for signs of alien life against the advice of scientists who had been doing this for many decades. And four, he decided that the first confirmed interstellar object that we've observed passing through our solar system, designated 1I 2017 UI or Oumuamua, was not a natural comet or some other object, but advanced alien technology. In that previous video, I didn't focus too much on any one of these adventures, choosing instead to highlight how all of them together said something quite troubling about Loeb's mental health and hoping that his friends and colleagues could help him lest his nobelitis be terminal. I'm sad to say that here we are 2 years later, and things are actually much, much worse. Jason T. Wright is director of the Penn State Extraterrestrial Intelligence Center, and it's thanks to his blog that I learned that a third interstellar object has now been discovered hurtling into our solar system. And it's also how I learned that, once again, Avi Loeb has decided that despite all of the current evidence, it isn't a comet, but is in fact an alien spaceship. Unlike Oumuamua, which astronomers only noticed on its way out of the solar system, this new object was clocked as it was coming into our solar system. 3I Atlas was discovered on the 1st of July of this year, and unlike Oumuamua, which may have been an asteroid, a comet, or the remnants of a comet, they're still debating, researchers are fairly certain that Atlas is in fact a comet. It has an obvious icy core and the telltale coma of gases enveloping it, plus the equally obvious tail coming off of the back. It is doing everything scientists expect a comet to do, and it is doing nothing that scientists would expect a comet not to do. And yet, Avi Loeb continues to insist that there is a very good chance, a 60% chance, that this is actually an alien spacecraft, changing up his arguments each time new data drops that shows a comet doing comet things. If you'd like to dig into Loeb's bullshit about this and why it's bullshit, I highly recommend you check out Wright's essays on this. As always, links to everything I discuss in every video can be found in the transcript, linked in the description below at patreon.com/Rebecca, or you can go over to skepchick.org. But what I really want to focus on today is Wright's most recent post, which, as of this recording, which is simply titled, "Loeb's Behavior is Reckless." Wright calls attention to the fact that, yes, it's bad enough that Loeb is spreading the completely ridiculous idea that these objects are most likely not natural in origin. Lots of people argue that this might get the average person to pay more attention to what's happening in astronomy and in the search for extraterrestrial life. In fact, in my previous video on Loeb, I linked to a post from Wright himself acknowledging that Loeb is doing some good things, like putting SETI in the public eye and doing a lot of outreach. But now, unfortunately, shit has gotten serious. Wright points out that in the past few months of Loeb's blog posts, he has been doing things like publishing correspondence he gets, and it's not good. It's actually pretty scary. It is the subject of comfort that I write to you about today. Your mid-July post about the anomalous properties of 3I Atlas immediately struck me as extremely alarming. After reading your post, I reasoned that the object's Sagittarian origin, trajectory, tactical approach to the inner solar system bodies, and unlikely size added up to an extraordinary set of coincidences that should not be ignored. All this is to say, I made plans, a moderate amount of long shelf life food, after reading your initial 3I Atlas posts. More recent information, no cometary activity, brings to mind something Han Solo said, "I have a bad feeling about this. I have no illusions about our chances of survival if we are targeted for elimination, as per the Dark Forest theory. However, I would like to spend time with my family in the lead up to a potential encounter. I figure this will be a good thing whether or not all hell breaks loose. Given what we know now, when would be the earliest time we could expect to greet the arrival of objects in orbit around Earth? I appreciate that you are busy. Thank you for your time." Okay, if you aren't familiar, the Dark Forest hypothesis, not theory, hypothesis, is one of many potential answers to the Fermi paradox, which posits that the universe is so incredibly large and has so many planets, of which some must be just as capable of producing intelligent life as Earth. Why haven't we met aliens yet? The Dark Forest hypothesis suggests that maybe they are out there, but they're all hiding because they know as well as we do that all intelligent life is violent due to a fear of other life forms visiting violence upon them. It's just pure competition. You want to be the only intelligent life form out there capable of destroying other life forms. So you have to kill other intelligent life forms when you find them. I like to think of it as the most human of all potential answers to the paradox because, like if my dog was the model specimen of a spacefaring life form, then I know for a fact that he would cross galaxies in order to get a head pat, a belly rub, or a snoot smooch. But I digress. This Loeb fanboy sounds like he's one ChatGPT session away from full psychosis. The overwhelming expert consensus is that Atlas is a comet. But thanks to one guy, Avi Loeb, this man has started to stockpile food, has no illusions about our chances of survival, and wants to know the earliest possible date of an alien encounter so he can maximize his time with loved ones. The correct response to that from a rational person would be to unambiguously state, "Holy shit, you're making a lot of crazy leaps of logic here. You and your family would benefit from therapy because every expert on the planet thinks that I am wrong about this being aliens." Instead, Loeb focuses first on the question, when are they going to arrive? It is difficult to forecast when and how a direct encounter with aliens would take place, even as we monitor 3I Atlas, because that involves many uncertainties regarding the alien travel technologies, goals, and intent. The best we can do is monitor the sky with telescopes. He then subtly allows, it may well be that 3I Atlas is a natural comet, but even then we have to check each and every interstellar object that the Rubin Observatory will find in the coming decade for anomalous characteristics like non-gravitational acceleration with no cometary tail, or artificial lights, or unusual shape. Wow, I feel better already. Sure, maybe it's just a comet, but what about the next one? And, in his next reply to an email, he does spell it out. He thinks it's a 60% chance that this is aliens. Back to the guy in psychosis, it would be a mistake to imagine a specific form based on scripts from science fiction writers because their imagination, just like large language models of artificial intelligence, is limited by their training data set on Earth. Even if we keep finding interstellar rocks, we should always be open to the possibility that one of the future interstellar objects might be technological. The nature of that encounter remains to be seen. That's it. That's his answer to someone who is preparing for his final days on Earth. It may seem like he's trying to give him a little bit of comfort there, but what I think he's doing is what apocalyptic preachers have been doing for millennia, which is covering your bases in case the date comes and passes and nothing happens. What do you say? You say not that like, oh, I was totally wrong about everything and the apocalypse is never coming. You say, well, something happened that changed the date. This next day, though, that's the one. Just this past month, Loeb posted a new update titled, "Is 3I Atlas a friendly gardener or a serial killer?" Oh, but don't worry, he's not saying that there's like a 50-50 chance that this is aliens that are going to come and destroy all life on Earth. He's just saying that there is a chance that they are going to bring a poison that will accidentally kill all life on Earth. But don't worry, at the end he says, probably not. Great, thanks. Wright relates all of this back to what happened in 1997 when the comet Hale-Bopp captured international attention and inspired a cult. The Heaven's Gate cult believed that the comet was heralding a spaceship that they could teleport to if they all committed mass suicide at the right time. 39 people died, all thanks to what started as one amateur astronomer who mistook a star observed near the comet for a spaceship because he had the wrong settings on his computer's star viewing program. He called into Art Bell's show, Coast to Coast. Yes, the show several of my own viewers seemed to think was just fun and games and had nothing to do with the dangerous rhetoric of people like Alex Jones, and he convinced UFO believers that this was the big show. Courtney Brown, a political scientist at Emory University who also has Nobelitis and became a multi-pronged quack, gave the alien idea a sheen of authority. The mainstream press picked up on all of this, which alarmed one of the comet's discoverers. In an article for Skeptical Inquirer published in March of 1997, Alan Hale described how he was busy speaking to the press in an attempt to reassure people that there was no spacecraft. He himself was worried that people were going to do something crazy like commit suicide over this. Unfortunately, it had already been set into motion, and his efforts failed to save those 39 people. Now we have an actual lauded physicist spreading these ideas. How long will it be before this happens again? Hale pointed out in his Skeptical Inquirer piece that much of the worry over the Hale-Bopp comet may have been related to how close it came to the turn of the millennium, which was also the cause of a lot of strife around the year 1000. So I guess it's a good thing, at least, that Loeb isn't invoking any kind of religious imagery into his apocalyptic fear-mongering. Oh, hold on. In Jewish tradition, said the Israeli-born Loeb, we are waiting for the Messiah to arrive and bring a better future. I consider the possibility of the Messiah being extraterrestrial. Having a visitor from another planet outside the solar system could be a wake-up call for humanity. The arrival of superhuman intelligence at Earth could fulfill the longing for a messianic age in Jewish eschatology, ushering peace, justice, and prosperity on Earth. The agency of superhuman intelligence could either be in the form of alien intelligence or artificial intelligence, both abbreviated as AI. Wow. And a lot of Jews think that the Messiah might arrive from Brooklyn. I think that the Messiah will arrive from an exoplanet. That's not mainstream Judaism. That's just insanity. In my previous video, I was mostly worried for Loeb and his obviously precarious mental health, but now I'm actually much more worried about the thousands, millions of people who look to Loeb as an authority and their own precarious mental health. How long is it going to be before Loeb has actual deaths on his hands?
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you think the world could use more videos like this and you happen to have a few bucks laying around, head to patreon.com/Rebecca and join an awesome community of nerds like the people whose names you see on the screen right now. Thanks.